Alright guys, welcome to the start of a brand new week here at the Visual Vapor Reviews. As you all well know, I'm your host Michael Cobb, and today we're going to be taking a look into some topics and a few different possible review. Well, actually, definitely a review. So, we're going to be doing the review on the Avenger Tank, and we're going to be doing some chatting about certain vape strengths or nicotine strengths, and we're going to be talking about how they affect based on their level. So, we're going to be talking about the Avenger Tank from ijoy, and it's going to be a pretty good day. Alright, so I have some pretty sad news to share. Anyone who doesn't know, my friends and family included, first off, not so sad news. I was cutting potatoes the other night, and I decided with a mandolin, and I went too fast without using a tool, and well, the rest is as you can see. Yeah, but so some sad news. My papa, or my dad, my mother's father, passed away 3 days ago, and from a heart attack, and it was rather sudden, and none of us were expecting it because my younger brother had just spent a whole week with him doing work, and he seemed in very good health, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. I'm gonna miss him though. He was a really good guy, and we had a lot of good memories together, and yeah. But so, quick moment of silence for Tom Troisi, my papa. Alright guys, so thank you so much for bearing with me for that moment of silence in memory of my papa. Anyway, now on to the review. So, I don't have the official case for the ijoy Avenger, so we're going to have to use this. So, this is the box for the ijoy Avenger mod, but we're in it for the tank. But of course we'll be using it on the mod that it came with. So we'll get a quick look-see into that. We've got our charging cable off to the side. We don't need to worry about that. Alright. So we've got a few different seals here for the ijoy Avenger. We've got a 510 drip tip adapter. Oh, that's nice. I didn't notice that before. We've also got a mesh coil that's pre-installed and a regular coil head that's not. That is a 0.35 resistance, and it is 20 to, oh no, it is 40 to 80 watts for this coil. The other one is a 0.15, and it goes from, let's see, 30 to 60. It also comes with a replacement glass tube that is non-bubble, and it's got this nice little wrap around, so that'll be good for it later on. But now that we've got onto the packaging, let's show you guys an up-close and personal look at it. But before I do that, I'm going to have to grab a couple of drip tips so you guys can see how well this looks on it. So give me just a sec. Alright, so I've got a drip tip right here that's 510. Then we got the 810 drip tip. I'm also going to grab one more 510 just to give it a look-see at how it will fit. I'm going to grab my shisha drip tip. And that should look pretty nice, I'm thinking. I've got the Falcon tip right here as well. This was the Falcon tip. There we go. Alright, so we should be ready to go with this Falcon tank. And with this Avenger tank. So let's get a few rips off it and we'll talk right into it. So the Avenger tank is a very beautiful tank. I like it because it has a stainless steel, I believe, or Delrin drip tip. Beautiful design. I really like it a lot. It's got metal cap on and a metal base plate as usual for metal base plates, but I like how this has a real metallic feel to it. And what's really interesting, I gotta say, I wasn't really expecting this when I first got it. The shape of the shape of the coils, they have a really unique shape that I wasn't really sure about at first, but it turns out that they have. So I'm going to open up this spare coil so you guys can see. Alright, so this is the spare Avenger coil. But you'll notice that it has these 4 little holes that angle up, and that is for your airflow. So normally you'd think when you have a coil it has just a straight hole all up and down like that. But in this case, it's divided into 4 sections, which allows for maximum airflow, even though there are 2 airflow slots already hitting the coil. That really impressed me, because the airflow is going to hit that coil right in the center, and it's going to really concentrate that flavor. Alright, so now that we've talked about the coil some, we can get on to the actual. So it's got, you'll notice right here there's, hold on, I'll see if you can see that. There's ijoy right on the drip tip, which is really cool. Usually it says the ijoy logo right on the tank, but at the bottom here you'll see Avenger. So let's fire this up, and this coil is rated for, let's see, 40 to 90 watts. Alright, so I'm gonna go down to start it at 40. And before we do that, so get a sip of my poison of choice. Poison of choice, good words for that one. Alright, so first things first, we're going to show you a function that's on the ijoy Avenger mod real quick. So you'll notice how you know it's voice controlled, but what's really cool about this is, watch this. Hello ijoy, auto watt, and it goes right up to 60 no matter where it's at, because the best range for this coil is 60 watts. Now I could run this up to 90 watts, no problem, but it's meant for 60 watts, so it's best at 60. And it even says that right on the coil, that it's best between 60 and 65 watts. But really good flavor. I like what I'm vaping on. So you guys are probably like, well, vaping. What the? Well, visual vapor. What the heck are you vaping on? You've been hinting at it all this time. Well, that's because I haven't had the chance to that's going to be saved for a secondary topic. But I can tell you right now what the flavor is. So this is not Max Slushy. This is just the bottle I'm using. This is 100 milliliters of Sweet Leaf. Sweet Leaf is a very concentrated flavor. It's well, the word for it is, it's strong. There's a reason why it's strong, and it's the way I made it. Yep, you heard me right. I made this stuff. This juice is a handmade by yours truly vape liquid, because a while ago a friend of mine gave me his DIY materials, and I had enough to make 100 milliliters of this stuff. So I'm pretty happy. We'll be doing a flavor review in just a little bit too, so let's get on with the vaping. So we got this at 40 watts, and the airflow is literally hitting 2 of these little dots. So when I say it's hitting those 2 dots on the coil, I'm saying it's hitting, so the coil is positioned with 2 on the side. So say this is your airflow right here and right here. It's hitting those 2 holes on either side and pulling it up into the coil. So we're going to take our first hit at the lowest range, 40 watts, and we're going to just bump it up to 50, and then we'll just hit, say, auto watt for the next one. Alright, so 40 watts, starting range. I'm vaping on my homemade flavor. Let's do it. Ooh, now that's nice. I like that. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how the drip tip adapter works. So we've got the 510, this is a 810, and this is a 510. You'll notice the difference right off the bat, guys. And you'll see how one's definitely bigger than the other. So I'm going to start off by trying my Falcon Tank drip tip, which is also 510. But because I don't have a 510, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to need your drip tip adapter. And that's where this little beauty, marvel of a beauty, comes in. So it's got a seal that came out with it as well, so I'm gonna have to take that off real quick. These are tank seals, so I've got all of those necessary right here. I'm just going to take these little beauties out and grab my 510 drip tip adapter and pop it right on. Alright, so she sits nice and flush right there against it. Now let's see if she's actually going to work 510 threaded. Oh yeah, she sits in there nice. Okay, look at that. So there's the Falcon Tank drip tip on there. Let's take a vape off it at 40. Flavor's a little restricted, but no complaints. Okay, let's try this one. There we go, Shisha hit. Not bad, okay. So that's the 510 drip tip adapter. I'm going to use my little screwdriver to pop it off there. Kind of get underneath it and lift it up. And then, there we go. Okay, so we got the drip tip adapter off. I'm going to just toss that back in the box and put my ijoy Avenger piece back on here. After I find out why it's got so much grit in it. That's a little odd. Alright. Well, let's just grab a little bit of cotton to kind of soak up that excess juice real quick. I'm just going to take a teeny tad bit. Then I'm just going to twist it. Kind of use it to clean out in there. Because in lieu of Q-tips, this is what I tend to use to kind of just clean it out. There we go. Alright. That's done. Now, hopefully, this will be a little more receptive to my drip tip. There we go. Alright, so 40 watts. We got this. Now, it's reading at 0.18 instead of 0.15 because it has deteriorated a little bit. No surprise. Okay, next one. 10 watt increment. Hello, ijoy. Hello, ijoy. Power high. There we go, 50 watts. And I've taken 4,443 puffs off this. Now, I was waiting for this to happen because my least favorite number in the world is 1 before 5. I hate saying the number. I don't like the number. And it's just a superstition thing. It's nothing huge. But I just don't like saying that number. But one more hit and I'm going to be at 4. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to be at 1 before 5 number of digits all at the same time. And it's going to be literally, I'm going to have to say it, 4, 4, 4, 4. I hate that number, and I don't know why, but I just never liked that number. It's just 5 seems like a safer number for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. It's just my thing, and it's been that way since forever. I hate that number, and it is like the bane of my existence. I'm just putting a couple of seals away, and then we can get into talking the rest about. So we're at 50 watts. Let's take the next vape off this beauty. Whew. Alright, so you saw the auto watt function, so I don't really need to say auto watt. I'll just say power high for the next one. So the flavor's coming off this really good. I like my flavor. It is a 40-60 PG-VG ratio. I like higher VG levels simply because you get bigger, milkier clouds. So, there we go. Alright, so a little while ago, actually, hold on, before I go into my whole topic about nicotine strengths and shit, let's go on to the next level. Hello, ijoy. Hello, ijoy. Hello, ijoy. Whatever. Manual it is. When the thing doesn't want to listen to you, but you need something to listen to all your cares and worries, she ain't even there for you. Not a subtle hint at Ariana. Alright, so 60 watts. Top of the range. Let's do it. Flavor's coming off really good. I like that level. Whew. A little strong, though. It's kind of creating a bit of a throat hit in the back of my throat. Excuse me. Alright, so next level. Hello, ijoy. Power high. 70 watts. Let's do it. Not bad. Alright. Hello, ijoy. Power high. Last increment I'm going to do, I'm not going up to 90 because I don't really trust it, but 80 watts, here we go. Ooh, kind of a burnt taste right there, okay. Hello, ijoy. Hello, ijoy. Auto watt. Back down to 60. I ain't handling that. Ugh. Alright, so now that we've talked about about the Avenger Tank and that review is finished, we're going to talk about nicotine strengths. Alright guys, so nicotine. It's constantly blamed for the biggest problems of tobacco and smoking. So I'm going to sit back, guys, so you guys can kind of hear what I'm saying a little bit better and I can relax a little bit. So, nicotine. It's constantly blamed for all the problems of tobacco. Tobacco, i.e. smoking. When you smoke, the tobacco is combusted and turned into a cloud or smoke, which is then inhaled into the lungs. It was the earliest form of smoking before vaping and electronic cigarettes. And the first thing that they constantly blamed because it was so addictive, they blamed the nicotine, which is naturally present in tobacco. Now, a lot of people will say that nicotine's your problem when you're vaping. And when you're smoking, nicotine's the problem. It's a bad, bad substance, they say. Now, in reality, it's actually a daughter product or sister product, or in this case, sister product to caffeine. They're both non-harmful, but they're both addictive. They are, on their own, they're toxic, but when added to other chemicals, like diluted in coffee with water, it gives you the adrenaline you need, it gives you the energy you need for the rest of the day. Same with nicotine. Nicotine has many, many health benefits, as well as deficits in the case of smoking. I.e., when nicotine is combusted and turned into a smoke, which is then inhaled, it creates carcinogens, or, in this case, cancer-causing chemicals. Now, that is the case in smoking, but later on, as scientists would later come to find out, vaping or vaporizing nicotine in a chemical compound where it's suspended in two different chemicals, such as propylene glycol or water, and vegetable glycerin. Now, when it's suspended in that in a free base form, along with the flavoring, it actually lowers the toxicity to a point where it's non-existent. The natural amount of nicotine that's found in the body from general foods. For example, there are foods that use tobacco as flavoring, but not as smoking. Tobacco on its own is not a harmful plant. It's when it's smoked that causes carcinogens to enter the body and increases your rates of cancer. Vaping, on the other hand, is a way to safely use nicotine, and actually, believe it or not, nicotine in the bloodstream has been shown to improve cognitive response, as well as several other things, such as lowering of anxiety, lowering of pain. So, in a way, it's similar to cannabis, but at the same time, they're two different things entirely. So, to talk about nicotine is, well, it's a chemical naturally found in tobacco, as you all well know, and it is addictive. But at the same time, caffeine is addictive as well. Caffeine can be, everyone who drinks coffee will tell you they don't like starting the day without their caffeine. They need their daily dose of coffee, and heaven help you if you mess with it. Same with smokers. They need their morning cigarette if they're smoking or addicted to smoking. They'll need their morning cigarette. Now, if that's the case, and they're the same as coffee, it's the same as coffee, why are people hating on nicotine more than caffeine? The addiction's the same, but in reality, it's because smoking will kill you faster than drinking coffee. Well, in the case of vaping, it's similar to coffee. There's caffeine vapes out there that just use caffeine instead of nicotine. Bad idea. Never do it. It's really bad. I did it once. That stuff will mess you up. Too much caffeine in a single puff to literally knock you on your butt faster than you can say, heaven help me, and I did it once, and I was on a whole caffeine trip for a day, and I was like, I'm not moving. and I felt horrible, got sick, threw up, didn't want to move. It was just horrible. Alright, so I had a friend of mine come by a while ago, and he gave me two different things. So he gave me a 3 milligram and an 18 milligram. Now, for nicotine strengths, I'm not keeping them, and I'm not going to use them on a regular basis, but I do have to do the review so you guys can see the difference, and I can give you my take on the difference. Now, I don't use nicotine, and it's not a common thing for me to do, but you've seen in previous videos where I used a Nick Salt to review for it, but this time I'm going to be reviewing about normal nicotine. So what I have here is my own handmade propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, and flavoring. It's just sweet leaf. Really simple stuff. I'm going to shake it up a little bit so that I can guarantee that I have a nice even mix. Alright. And we're going to use probably the 18, because we're going to go from 0 with 0 and 18. So what I have here is, this is the Steam Co. And it's handcrafted in New Hampshire. It's premium e-liquid from, not New Hampshire, Connecticut. And it's called Gentleman's Reserve. I've vaped this stuff at 0 before. It's not bad. And it smells pretty good, actually. So you'll notice that this is pretty dark e-liquid. Probably not something I'm going to use that often, but I'm going to use it for the heck of it today. So I'm going to take one last puff off of my ijoy Avenger before we go to a dripper, because that way I can get this over with and only have to use it for a little bit. And I'll be using fresh cotton, so if you notice any lag in the video, it's because I've paused it to switch out the cotton, so I'm not using the nicotine cotton when I go to, the cotton with the cotton soaked up with the nicotine juice, so that I can get rid of that as soon as I'm done and it won't be in my tank. So I will not put it in my tank because I don't want it hanging around. So we've got my my SIG Cloud, or C Cloud, or CI6 Cloud. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I still don't. Sorry, guys. So we got the CI6 Cloud. I'm just going to call it the CI6 Cloud or the SIG Cloud or whatever. I'll alternate between the two names eventually. So we got my cloud, my SIG Cloud right here, and I'm going to make. I've got fresh cotton in here, so you guys can see fresh cotton in here. I'm going to vape off the last of the liquid that I've been vaping on. And we're going to put in the 0 in the Gentleman's Reserve for this one. Got a little bit of stuff on the outside of my drip tip. All right, so we're going to start use the. Let's see. We'll start with 0, and we'll go up to the 18 afterward. 18 afterwards, and I'm just going to use just a little bit because I've already got cotton whipped with 0, so I'm going to start off with 0. I'm just going to use 5 small drops on this. And we're going to make sure she's all wicked up. Give it a few seconds. Make sure it's not leaking down the sides. Okay, we're good. Okay, so 0 milligrams of nicotine. 0 means absolute 0. There is no ands, ifs, or buts, because when you label it 0, it has to be 0 if for some reason someone's allergic to nicotine but they still want to vape. Then they can vape this and they don't have to worry about it, or nicotine addiction, or in my case, I don't use nicotine in general, so I don't have to worry about it. Sorry if you guys are noticing like leaf patterns on my forehead. That's because of the outside. Alright, so this is my handmade flavor. It's called Sweet Leaf, and it's like a green iced tea. Not bad at all. I like it. So let's try it out. Good flavor right there. I like that. Alright. Let's give it a. I'm going to have to vape this until it dries out. Absolutely nothing wrong with this flavor. So, I'm really glad that I've got that flavor in there right now. And it's the same as in my tank that I've been trying out for a while, so there's no real throat hit to it right now because it's on an RDA. And you guys might notice every so often I'll do something like this. And there's a reason for that. So, it's called purging. A while ago, people would, who use RDAs or drippers, they blow a little air onto the coil so that it heats up quicker and gives you a bit of a hot vape. And it allows you to get more vapor from it, and better flavor as well. And that's all because of, it also reduces spitback. So, it's really good for that, but it's also kind of outmoded. Most people don't do it anymore. Okay, the coil's dripping. I'm drying out a little bit. I'm gonna probably get one more vape off this before I switch it to Gentleman's Reserve, so you guys can see this. Oh yeah, dried out for sure. All right, so Gentleman's Reserve. This is 18 milligrams of nicotine. This is not something I'm holding on to, and it's only for review purposes. And that's about it, because I ain't keeping a nicotine. So I'm gonna shake this up really nice, make sure it's all mixed up well. Make sure it's all one piece and it's not gonna float around on me. Shaky, shaky. Alright, she's all shooken up. She leaked a little bit, probably because I didn't tighten the cap down enough, but whatever. Alright, we got Gentleman's Reserve ready to go. And I'm a little nervous. But, I vaped higher nicotine levels, but that's Nick salts. But, okay, so I'm going to do a couple drops. 3, 4, 5. And that ought to give me enough of a flavor just to really gauge it and see how it affects one. So, okay. Gentleman's Reserve. Gentleman's Reserve is kind of like a coffee flavor on its own, but when, so little backstory. First time I started vaping, my first vape was a Mach 10 or Mark 10 e-cig. Tiny little thing, about yay big. I actually have one like it over here somewhere. Aha. Here we go. So this is a Mark 10 e-cig. They're pre-filled cartridges. You can unscrew them and get new cartridges. I learned a way to hack them and put my own e-liquids in there. So, fast forward a little bit further, my second vape. See? Dead. But fast forward to my second vape. My second vape was a Vapin' Plus, as you guys have heard. And the first time I tried vaping, I said, I didn't know what I was getting, so I asked the person, hey, what's your best flavor? He says, well, do you like sodas? And I was like, yeah. And he said, okay, well, here's a Coca-Cola flavor. And me being dummy, I said, okay, how much nicotine is in it? And I didn't know about zeros back then. He said 36, and I figured, okay, nothing huge. 36 milligrams is like taking a cinnamon challenge on overdrive, people, and it is just horrible. Never do it unless you are a really big Nick addict. So, now that I've got this all set up and it's wicked in nicely, Gentleman's Reserve is kind of like a coffee, chocolatey flavor. It's nothing huge, but it is a really good flavor, and I'm a big fan of chocolatey flavors, kind of. But they have to be a certain kind. So, now that I've got this all set up, I'm going to take a vape at my recommended wattage range, because I typically vape at 60 but for this RDA, but I'm going to turn it to its recommended, so let's see what it does. I haven't checked the recommended on this. Hello, ijoy. And by the way, it's reading at a 0.23 ohm resistance. It's also at 3.78 volts. So, hello, ijoy. Hello, ijoy. Auto watt. Oh, 50 watts. Okay, only 10 watt difference. But okay, let's try it. That is a very heavy throat hit, guys. Really strong. But the flavor's there, but it's not bad. Got a little bit of a bigger cloud that time. Flavor's not bad at all. I'm definitely noticing, oh, there's irony and a half. There's a vapor walking right in front of me, walking down the driveway. I'm in the living room right now, but there's a vapor right in front of me, and I'm kind of intrigued. That's pretty awesome. All right. So, there's a guy walking down, right into the collision center. That's pretty awesome. Okay. So, that's a really strong throat hit. And yes, I did change the cotton, so I'll be changing the cotton out of this when I'm done with it. I'm only going to do maybe 10 flavor hits. I'm going to vape it till it's dry and then take out the cotton so I can get a full effect / review on this. There's really nothing to complain about on the flavor. It's just strong. And I don't... See, that's why I don't vape with nicotine. It's strong. It's got a heavy throat hit. The flavor is all over the place. I like Gentleman's Reserve. I've tried it before. The Steam Co. is a really good flavor brand. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But flavor hitters like that are just not for me. It's got too much nicotine. It's way too strong. But, so, that's kind of the effect of nicotine. Nicotine has really strong throat hits, and it's very powerful. But, yeah, definitely not for me. I'm going to change out the cotton real quick. Let me pause this. Okay, we're back. Got the cotton all set up. Didn't even take all that long. And I'm going to turn this up to... I've got this at 50 right now. I'm vaping back on my handmade flavor with no nicotine. I absolutely didn't like that nicotine flavor, so I've already gone and given the flavor back to my friend. He was waiting out on the porch for me to do this real quick. And, yeah, definitely not my thing. So I've already gotten rid of it. It's just I can't handle the flavor. I texted him while I was doing the whole handheld thing by my chair and letting him know that I'm not going to be keeping that flavor. Come back in like 10 minutes. But all in all, I mean, it's not a bad flavor. I like Steam Co.'s Gentleman's Reserve. That's good stuff. It comes straight from Up and Vapor up the road at Tractor Supply Co. And it's got really good flavor. He's got some good ones. And I get a lot of freebies because there's stuff that he just can't sell or doesn't use. And he'll just give it to me for free nowadays. But only if he has stuff that doesn't sell. So, I really like the flavor, and I'm going to go pick up some Gentleman's Reserve next time I'm in town. But what I'm going to be doing next time is I'm going to be doing a fused Clapton build. Or, actually, no, sorry, twisted build. That's what these are. These are twisted coils. I'll let you try and see that. You can kind of see how they're thicker, but you'll notice a little bit of braiding. And that's where two wires are twisted together until they're individual, and then you turn it into a coil. Now, I'm going to try that eventually at some point. I'm not sure when, but I am going to try it. Those were on my Victory RDA, and that was a pretty good build. I liked that. In fact, I have the Victory right here with me. Let's bring it in for a close-up real quick, and we'll maybe take a vape off it. You remember the Victory RDA. It was my first RDA. And what I did with this RDA is I put cotton. I built my own, rebuilt the coils for it. The the twisted build that you saw right there just really wasn't for me. And I had used those coils so many times, it was time to take them out and change them. So what I did was I rebuilt the coils to it. I'm going to screw this on slightly because I've got juice leakage coming right off the side of this RDA. And I just don't want it pooling on the side of my vape, so I'm just going to screw this down slightly. And it's reading the coil at a 0.26 ohm, so hello ijoy. Hello ijoy. Auto watt. Auto watt. Really? That's saying the recommended is 50 for it, so let's try it. Almost nothing. Weird. Nothing's coming off. Wonder what's up with it. The coils aren't dry. Well, let's try, I'm gonna try, these are pretty spaced builds, so I'm gonna try just dripping a few drops on it. This is a parallel coil, so what you'll notice here is I've got two pieces of wire and it's wrapped exactly 7 times. No, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times exactly. So I'm going to turn off the airflow just a little bit, see if that might be the culprit. Slightly better. Okay. I've got 2 sets of airflows, one at the top and one on the side of the bottom. So maybe that's the culprit. I've turned off the top airflow completely as of right Now, I've turned off the top airflow completely. And I'm just going to see what that does. So, maybe that'll fix things a little bit. Definitely very leaky. I don't like this tank too much. It leaks a lot. I don't know, man. Maybe it's the build. Maybe it's the flavor. I don't know. But either way, blast from the past. Good flavor. Really liking it. But just not my thing. Alright, let me put this down up here. There we go. Alright, so we're going to put my my dead man's rabbit up top. That's what I'm calling it, even though it's the CI6 or whatever. I don't care. I'm just going to call it the dead man's chest or dead man's rabbit, whatever. But good flavor nonetheless. I like that. So that about wraps it up. We were talking, got some good talk in about nicotine and what it does. I'm just not too much of a fan of nicotine, and I'm never going to really use it. Sometimes for reviews, and rarely at that. But I've already given it back to him. I'm just not going to use it anymore. So I'm going up to later today to pick up some real Steam Co. and hopefully go from there. Because that stuff is too strong with nicotine. I don't like it. So, that about wraps it up. We had some good talk, did a review about the Avenger Tank. We got some flavors in. Oh, one other flavor I haven't vaped on yet. So, I got it the other day. And you guys will remember this from a long time ago, a flavor that's also on SS Vape still today. Zebra striped gum. Something you would never expect to see again, but it's a blast from the past nonetheless. From SS Vape, the zebra striped gum. I'm really happy with this flavor. And I haven't really tried it yet, but I'm going to put it on the dripper in just a sec so that I can do that. I haven't even vaped on it yet, so I'm kind of excited. I want this to, like, dry out quickly. Come on, people. Hello, ijoy. Hello, ijoy. Power high. There we go. This might dry it out a little quicker. There we go. She's dry. All right. Let's get to this zebra striped gum. Five small drops ought to do it. And I've noticed that the dripper on this is broken, so I'm going to just empty this, because you'll notice that that drip's broken. And I'm going to put it in my sweet leaf, because there ain't that much left of it. So I'm thinking it might hold it all. I'm hoping it will. I'm just going to set the dripper for this one here and pour it into this. Please work, please work, please work. Don't fill it all. There we go. Okay. Don't have to worry about that dripper anymore. So now I've got zebra striped gum right inside here. That works. Okay. Now that's officially a good bottle. Alright, so we got the zebra striped gum in here. 60 watts. Let's try it. Whoo! That's definitely strong. Hold up. Oh. Sorry, technical difficulties have been occurred. Flavor is too good. We have reached critical mass for good flavor. Officially vaped out. Well, we're back. That was a good flavor. Oh my word. And it's strong. It's got a really strong throat hit. Wow. It must have a very high PG-VG ratio. Because, well, very high VG ratio. Because, no, PG, that creates the throat hit. But, yeah. So I'm going to switch over to my Avenger Tank real quick after I get this down a little bit. Okay, that about does it for the Visual Vapor Reviews. I'm your host, Michael Cobb, and today was a wonderful day. We got a lot done. Hyperactive hypervocalization. Wow, that's fun. Okay, so that's probably all the Monster I've been drinking. All right, guys. In all seriousness, we've had a lot of fun. we've gotten some good vaping done, we've gotten some good reviews done, and we talked a bit about nicotine. But for those of you who know that nicotine is a very addictive substance, and it has been known in the state of California to cause birth defects, do not use it unless you are a smoker. Otherwise, if you want to just do vaping for the fun of it, stick with 0 milligrams. It is the best choice for you. And work if you're smoking and you're using nicotine in your vape right now to quit smoking. Work your way down to 0 so you can still enjoy those clouds, but not worry about the addiction. Thanks so much for checking me out, guys. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, drop it in the crotch box. We'll see you there. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for checking me out, and be sure to tell all your friends about me, because remember, it ain't vape. It ain't smoke. It's vape. Strike that. Reverse it. It ain't smoke, it's vapor. And it's better for you, because vaping is the way of the future. It is the better choice for everyone. So thanks so much, guys, for checking me out. And until next time, I'm your host, Michael Cobb, and these have been the Visual Vapor Reviews. Peace, guys.